Have you ever seen something that just doesn't belong? I'm not talking about something spooky, but something so out of place, so completely out of time that it makes you do a double take. Well, today we're diving into a digital mystery that plucks a 21st century character right out of his comfort zone and drops him into the golden age of animation.
Okay, so just look at this. This is what I'm talking about. On one hand, you've got a classic 1928 steamboat right out of an old cartoon. And just floating there beside it, that's Toodles, a high-tech digital helper from the mid-2000s. It is such a bizarre but fascinating collision of two completely different worlds.
And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? See, this isn't some random glitch or a bug in the game. It's a deliberate choice. So how in the world did a flying, talking supercomputer find its way into the grainy, black-and-white landscape of early animation?
All right, to get to the bottom of this, we first need to check out the scene of the crime. Let's start by properly identifying our little digital ghost and figuring out exactly where this 21st century anomaly even popped up.
So this whole thing is going down in the wild, creative world of Roblox. It's happening inside a super popular Mickey Mouse roleplay game where players can explore different time periods from Mickey's long history. One of those maps is designed to look just like a 1920s cartoon, but as you can tell, something in this vintage world is, well, it's not so vintage.
And here's our anomaly. For anyone who might not recognize him, this is Toodles. He's that super cheerful flying computer from Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, a show that kicked off in 2006. His whole deal is bright colors, digital screens, and handing out high-tech mouse-tools. I mean, he is the definition of a 21st century character.
This picture really just says it all, doesn't it? Seeing Toodles just floating there among these kind of barren grayscale hills, it creates this incredible fish-out-of-water effect. And you better believe it got the players talking. It's jarring, it's pretty surreal, and yeah, it's 100% intentional.
So what is it about this image that's so compelling? Let's take a closer look and really break down this powerful visual clash between high-tech and lo-fi. The real conflict boils down to this. On one side, you have the 1930s. We're talking that classic, noodly rubber hose animation, grainy grayscale film, and of course, Steamboat Willie. Then, on the other side, you've got the 2000s, a slick, digital assistant with super vibrant colors and futuristic gadgets. They are complete and total opposites, both aesthetically and technologically.
And you can actually see it in the game's design. Check this out. Here's a building that's shaped just like the modern clubhouse, but it's been totally stripped of its color. It's rendered in that stark black and white style. And then there's Toodles himself, just hanging out right on the wooden deck of the steamboat. The game developers are absolutely blending these two eras on purpose.
But you know, for dedicated role players, a cool visual isn't enough. It needs a story. It needs an explanation. And this is where the community's creativity just goes into overdrive, because they've come up with some brilliant theories to solve this impossible puzzle.
So really, how do you justify a supercomputer showing up in the age of silent film? Well, the fan community has more than a few ingenious ideas.
Okay, the most popular theory out there is the time travel one. The fans call it the chronosphere glitch. The idea is that Professor Von Drake, or maybe even the modern Mickey himself, sent Toodles hurtling back in time to 1928. And why? To deliver a very specific mouse-tool that Steamboat Willie needed to solve a problem we never actually saw in the original cartoon.
Theory number 2 ditches time travel completely and goes straight for parallel universes. In this one, the black and white world isn't the past, it's a whole other dimension. Toodles is acting as a multiverse anchor, basically a communication device that lets the two Mickeys talk to each other, which, would explain why he keeps his slick, modern form in a world that's lost all its color.
And finally, we have the most meta theory of them all, the sketchbook theory. This one suggests that the entire game world is actually a magical artist's sketchbook. So Toodles, as a digital creation, is basically just visiting an older hand-drawn page. His presence represents the evolution of animation itself, the digital future meeting the hand-drawn past. Pretty cool, right? Now, these are all fantastic fan theories, but it does make you wonder, why does a little detail like this in a Roblox game even matter? Well, the answer is all about embracing a bit of creative chaos. See, instead of demanding strict historical accuracy, the community loves this crossover. It shows that this isn't just a game, it's a living, breathing piece of fan culture, a digital spot where new folklore is being written all the time. This choice to blend eras adds a layer of surrealism that sparks conversations, encourages creative stories, and keeps the world feeling fresh and totally unpredictable.
And ultimately, that's the real takeaway here. It doesn't matter if he's a time traveler or a multiverse anchor. Toodles' presence in this Golden Age world really is a testament to the enduring, evolving legacy of the world's most famous mouse.
It leaves us with a pretty fascinating question to think about. What really happens when the past and the future of a story don't just exist next to each other, but actively collide? Well, in this case, it creates something entirely new, a kind of digital remix culture that keeps a nearly century-old story alive and kicking for a whole new generation.